just 6 days away tonight. The final home preseason game for the Leafs, start of a home-and-home with their original 6 rivals, the Detroit Red Wings. Here at Scotiabank, the starting goaltenders tonight. For Detroit, 38-year-old Cam Talbot. He'll share the goaltending duties with John Gibson this season. He's expected to play the entire game tonight. While at the other end, with a new 4-year contract extension, Anthony Stolarz gets his second start of the preseason. He's expected to go 60 minutes this evening. The Leafs icing what could be their opening night lineup. First time this preseason that Craig Berube will test drive Max Domi at wing. On the top line with Austin Matthews. NHL preseason hockey brought to you by Bet99. Download the Bet99 app. And it is Matthews against Dylan Larkin, and Craig Simpson, after a couple of days in Muskoka, some time off. You're interested in see how the Leafs react?
Absolutely. It's the give and take. You know, you have some good time with your teammates, get to know each other a little bit better. You've got a lineup that looks an awful lot like a lineup that might start on Wednesday night. And I think this is a big game for the Leafs to give a little payback to the good time off. I would expect nothing less.
Jake McCabe trying to bring Austin Matthews, who couldn't barge through, back the other way. Larkin sends it right wing to Lucas Raymond. Andrew Kopp playing on the top line with Larkin and Raymond. Dave Van Riemsdyk just checked into Detroit camp yesterday. Late arrival because of family reasons, but he might get a look on that top line. Here's Seider with a shot that blocked it. Bert Seider comes up with a rebound, swings it in off the stick of Carlo. Picked up here by DeBrincat. Hot shot, Stolarz looked sharp on that. Brandon Carlo up with the puck. Up ahead it goes to Nylander at center. William Nylander turns back. Ben Chiarot picked him up at the Leaf line. Bobby McMahon. It's Nylander in. And Talbot with a stop on the backhand try by Nylander.
Wow, good little give and go there. And that's what Nylander can do. Just coming from behind, getting that little bit of extra speed, and in alone just couldn't quite get a hold of that puck to get the shot he wanted to. A good early save by both these veteran goaltenders to start the game.
Now Dakota Joshua checks in on the third line with Nicholas Waugh and Matthias Maccelli. Back is Benoit in his own zone. It'll come around to the far side. Gustafsson with the pass. Gustafsson, the former Leaf, battling for a job in Detroit. Here's Ekman Larsson flipping it ahead to Joshua. Tangled up along the boards by newcomer Mason Appleton, but it's Ekman Larsson over the line, and a penalty coming against Detroit, and the Leafs will get an early power play. 2:02 in.
Yeah, an early chance here for the power play. We saw the earlier save by Stolarz, a good one, but for Todd McLellan, this is game number 7 in just 11 days, and here's Nylander just coming from behind. Little give and go there on the wall, but that last little stick at the last second created it. Good job on the boards here by Dakota Joshua, and you can see Appleton gets that stick in there, kind of gets the hold around, and he ends up going to the box. So an early power play chance for a power play that Chris will be the one at least that starts the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Morgan Rielly a focus here as he gets that shot through. A chance, scores! Early power play goal. Austin Matthews, 6 seconds in.
Just the second game for the Maple Leaf captain and the second goal, and it happens like you always want to prepare on that power play. How important is the face-off? Well, John Tavares wins it cleanly. Quick puck movement to the net. No hesitation. You know, it seems like a simple thing. Everybody talking about Morgan Rielly and how he'll do on the top. He puts it to the net. 2 little passes later, and a great play by Nyes to just shuffle it off to the side. And there's Austin Matthews on the doorstep with his second of the preseason.
Craig Berube this morning was talking about Morgan Rielly on the power play and getting the shot through early in the power play. Exactly what happened.
And that is really the early messaging, isn't it? I mean, you can't replace what Mitch Marner brought to this team. You know it's going to be talked about. 102 points, led the team in assists for 9 straight years. He's that guy's go-to man. But for Morgan Rielly on the back end, that mindset of getting it to the net, out-manning the penalty killers there, and that was a great example how simplicity sometimes is the best methodology, and it pays off with an early power play goal.
And a third assist for Morgan Riley because Knies and Tavares get the... Here's Laurentian, and that's a stop by Cam Talbot.
Well, it's never too late to talk about what's going to be on everybody's mind when the season starts for good. And here's Morgan Riley, the last 5 years on the power play, kind of good and bad every other year. And, you know, last year the numbers went down, 48 seconds less, a little bit less offensively. But now you look, a guy who has great pride in his game. He's got an opportunity to bounce back from what he self-professed wasn't a great offensive year last year. But I think the opportunity's there early on, and there's some confidence early in this game on that power play unit.
Riley with 4 goals in the postseason. Here's Domi, and Matthews follows up. Matthews scored early in his first preseason game, but does likewise here tonight. Trying to bounce back from a 33-goal season.
I said before, you know, you don't want to waste too many in the preseason, but it's got to feel good to get the puck in the back of the net after what was a really frustrating year, both health-wise and goal-scoring-wise, for a guy who knows how to put the puck into the net. I expect him to be off to a fast start this year. He's looked healthy, he's looked fast, he's looked into it, and there's 2 goals in 4 periods so far.
Here's a guy who has 2 goals in the preseason. McMahon going to the net, stopped by Talbot, and back the other way, Raymond passing it ahead over the line. As Marco Kasper worked against Benoit, and that's flagged down and held by Stolarz.
Well, another good sign. You know, I talked about the payback of having the time up north and getting a little away from the game. This has been a fast start here, and this is just a great vision of what you expect from Bobby McMahon. He's got that ability to use his speed to protect the puck. He's got a big body, long arms, and if he can continually do that and attack the net, he'll make good things happen.
There's a loose puck in front. Benoit tied up Kasper. Puck is retrieved by Detroit. Side of the net to Simon Benoit in his first preseason game. Missed a lot of the early going in camp with an upper body injury. Kasper behind the net. He is likely to center a line with Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat this year. And it's been their best line in preseason so far, although Kane not in the lineup tonight. Icing called against the Leafs.
Well, if you're a Leaf fan sitting at home and trying to play general manager, you look at your Leaf roster and everybody who's still around after all the cuts that have been made and players sent down. I think it's hard to think that there's going to be a change start Wednesday. I think for Craig Berube coming off that break, he's put a lineup in that looks an awful lot like a lineup that will start on Wednesday. I mean, the guys talked about in the studio the fact of Easton Cowan maybe being the one, but this is a great opportunity for him too to get another audition to be ready for Wednesday.
Soderblom, the big guy, going to the front of the net, and the backhand stopped by Stolarz.
Well, Stolarz again looking sharp. You know, he played 2 periods of that game on Saturday against Montreal, allowed 3 goals, but this is all just about getting your rhythm back. And you can practice all you want, but it's just the reads that you have to have in a real game. And here's where he's at his best. Good aggressive play with the stick. Didn't allow the cut across the net, got his stick in the way, and then able to hold on to that rebound, which is going to be important all season long, controlling those extra shots.
2-0 in his career against Detroit. He's allowed 1 goal on 50 shots against the Red Wings. That puck pops over the glass and out.
Another guy who's really on the radar, Maselli, is a great example of his ability and his patience. You know, the one thing that's been clear, and Austin Matthews talked about it earlier when he was playing on that line, is his ability to make plays. There's just a confident read, buy himself a little time, a little outlet pass, stretched out to Joshua, and if he can establish himself on this third line, Chris, this is something that the Leafs have been trying to get together. A third line that can be heavy with the big bodies of Dakota Joshua and Waugh, and now a playmaker on that side too. They can be a good defensive line and a line that maybe can be an offensive line, that something the Leafs have needed come playoff time, that secondary scoring. So it'd be interesting to watch the chemistry of this trio grow.
And now out comes the high-scoring fourth line. of Lawton, Lorentz, and Cowan.
They were the best
for one
line,
game.
weren't they, against Montreal, for sure.
Scott Lawton with 2 goals, 2 assists. That matched his point total in the regular season when he came over in the trade from Philadelphia. 4 points in 20 games. And he's expecting a lot more offensively this year. Back into the Leaf zone, Tanev. Jonathan Berggren on the forecheck. Here's a pass ahead for McCabe. Through center. Lorentz fired it back, and McCabe unable to take it, but play offside as Cowan touches it at the Detroit line.
Well, you know, second training camp for the head coach as well. And, you know, you get into a situation for Craig Berube. Everything was new last year. You're trying to establish a different look. You know, we talked about the core 4 and all the past of that. Well, this is a different year. And I just said, looking at these bottom 6 lines, the 3rd line and the 4th line is what, when you watch Craig Berube and look at his team that he had in St. Louis that he took to the Cup final, well, that's an element that he was maybe not really all that excited about last year. And I think he's putting together a lineup here that maybe is exactly the way he likes to put his lines together. You know, trusting that bottom 6 to play a role defensively, to add a little offense. I like the fact, look at the communication. 2 veteran guys with the youngster. Cowan's got to soak it all in. He knows in this lineup now, he doesn't have to score a goal every night. He's got to get the trust of his head coach in, play with a little bit of pace, play with energy each and every shift, and those guys will really help him navigate what is now his 3rd exhibition season.
Talbot dishes it off. There's Travis Hamonic in a battle for a job on the blue line for Detroit. They're going 11-7 tonight. And not sure if they're going to go with 7 or 8 defensemen, but there's some heavy competition in the Detroit camp for the 3rd pairing jobs.
Well, you talk about a camp here. This is going to be, they play again on Saturday against these Maple Leafs, and it's going to be 8 games in 12 days. And you know, this is Todd McClellan's first training camp. You remember December 27th was his first game. He lost against these Leafs in 5-2. Didn't have a really chance other than a morning skate to get his team. But I find that really difficult. Chris, with so many games, how much practice have the Red Wings been able to have? I mean, 8 games in 12 days is hard to really get on the board and have good constructive practices throughout.
The last time that happens with 4 preseason games next year, but that's a lot of morning skate practice time.
Yeah.
Isn't what the coach wants.
No, and you know, you get a feel for putting your stamp. I mean, he did a great job at the end of the season coming in. You know, they had a good little run. They won 7 in a row in a stretch and got themselves back into it. But like what often happens with these kind of teams, they went 0-7 after and finished 11-14-3 to miss the playoffs. A 9th straight year. I mean, hard to believe this Red Wing franchise, how great they've been. 25 straight years of playoff hockey, some 3 Stanley Cups in that time, and it's been 9 years of frustration after.
Looked like they were on the verge 2 years ago when they finished in a tie for 8th place. Here's a chance in front, and Stolarz with a terrific stop off Marco Kasper.
Oh, what a great passing play there. A little cycle in the offensive zone, created some open ice, and in tight, good glove save there by Stolarz.
Extension after a terrific first season with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, do they? I mean, that's back-to-back years actually being first in the National Hockey League in save percentage. He didn't have that many games in Florida, but he was also number 1 at .925. And, you know, you just get the expectation now that each and every night you don't have to worry and look in goal. There were many nights last year. There's Dennis Hildeby as the backup. Obviously, Joseph Woll still not with the team right now, but I think goaltending last year wasn't really something you talked about all that much during the regular season. Both guys played some really solid hockey, and man, Stolarz looks like he's ready and dialed in here to start the season off right.
And no indication of whether or not James Reimer will get action on Saturday when these 2 teams meet in Detroit to wrap up the preseason. That's Waugh along the boards. Appleton checked by Joshua. Puck to the line and does come out. Jake McCabe takes a look. Detroit in the midst of a change. Now the Leafs do as well, as Watton comes over the boards in an icing call against Toronto.
Well,
you could spend all day sorting your employees' expenses. Or you could let Ramp do it.
I like that.
Never chase a receipt again. Ramp. Love finance.
Remember what it feels like to be a little kid? You can turn the store into a playground and the floor into lava. That kid's still in there somewhere, just waiting for the right place to come out and play. So leave your adult self outside and call them when it's time to check out. DSW. Let us surprise you.
Handing it to the Detroit net. Morgan Riley. Max Domi turns through center. Chips it. Albert Johansson plays it back out. Riley on the near side. He is checked. Ranzak Nygaard, who's had a terrific camp for Detroit, will come back to the line. Johansson caught and held by Stolarz.
Now, do the Red Wings lead the league in hyphenated names? Bernard Docker in and Sandin Pelka. It's really an interesting lineup here for Detroit. Not a bad lineup as well. You mentioned Pat Kane obviously not playing. He's going to be on that second line. But there's some 6 Detroit Red Wing players under the age of 22 in this lineup, and you know the future is sort of bubbling and starting to grow for Steve Yzerman and the Red Wings.
There's DeBrincat, 39 last year. He centers it, picked off by Nyes, and away he goes through center, chips it in, and goes after it against Travis Hamonic. Matthews arrives. That's off the stick of Domi, and DeBrincat gathers it up. Here's Hamonic, the former Ottawa Senator, up ahead. Past McCabe, Lucas Raymond after it. Tanev got there first. Tanev exchanging passes with McCabe. That broke it up. Matthews coming back to help out. It's off McMahon and out to center. Edmondson plays it back in. Tanev and McCabe, that popped right in front. And Nylander was there, and now McMahon at center. Nylander tried to follow up, broken up by Larkin. Back in comes Raymond. He'll hook it across. What a pass! That's Stolarz with the stop. Puck at the side of the net. Kopp feeds back to the line for Edmondson. Across it goes, and there's Sandin Pelka, the youngster who has played every preseason game for Detroit. It'll be flipped away to center. McMahon goes after Tavares. In support, here's Tavares along the boards. Flips it back. Ekman Larsson was looking in front for Dakota Joshua. Benoit fired it. Talbot kicks that away. Soderblom plays it ahead, and it comes out to center. Just over 10 minutes to go. Opening period. Leafs with a 1-0 lead on a power play goal by Austin Matthews. There's Dakota Joshua along the boards. Now Riley one hands it deeper. Machelli takes a look, feeds it back to Riley. Morgan Riley into the middle for Carlo, sends it wide. McWaugh along the boards. Maintains possession. Snaps it back to Carlo. He's shot off Sandin Pelka in front. Here's Machelli with the steal. He hooks it in front. One to the net. And he's knocked down in front after a good scoring chance.
There's 2 good examples again of Matias Machelli and his playmaking ability. Made a great play back to the blue line, and then just a little area pass on a quick turn up that created another scoring chance. 2 good plays on that shift by number 63.
Comes back to Moritz Seider. Here's Seider with the puck. Emmett Finney's in. He's been quite a story. A 7th rounder who's hanging around and still has a shot at a job here. Seider with a shot that ricochets into the corner. Finney, the former Kamloops Blazer. Lawton tried to clear the zone on the second try. It came out. And now the Leafs will regroup it. Detroit with an edge in shots at 9-6, but the Leafs with a 1-goal lead. Winding it up is Nyes. Plays it past Johansson and in. It's Gustafsson to the boards. Domi comes up with it. Back to Tanev and McCabe. Snapping it back to Tanev. His shot knocked out in front. Nyes a chance. Doesn't get to the net. Domi to Matthews. And back. Here's Max Domi handing it off, but Tanev bumped along the boards by Gustafsson. Johansson trying to feed it ahead. Kasper checked by Domi. Looking for Matthews. Domi got knocked down. Benoit shoots it wide. Matthews unable to center that. Trying to get it back. And now the Red Wings clear.
Well, good pace to this game, you know, in reference to haven't played in 4 days. That game on Saturday against the Canadiens, not nearly the kind of pace by the Maple Leafs here, but both these teams have their legs early on, jumping and creating some chances.
Fired around, and William Nylander's got it. Carlo and Riley, and another Detroit penalty coming up. Leafs with a power play goal, and the Red Wings the 32nd penalty kill a year ago. It'll be Cowan trying to work his way through, but is checked. And the Leafs will get their second power play of this opening period.
A couple of veterans going at each other here. Just a little bit of a hold up by Nylander, a slash and a retaliation. Larkin going to the bench.
The Maple Leafs got back from their annual team bonding trip in Muskoka. A few days of fun featuring some golf team dinners, apparently some a cappella as well. Greg Berube let it slip that Easton Cowan had to get up in front of the group and sing. Now his song of choice was Shallow from the A Star Is Born soundtrack. And I say his song of choice, which actually isn't true, because according to Cowan, it was actually Scott Lawton and Max Domi that chose the song for him. He said if he had to get up and sing, he would have preferred something maybe a little bit more in the country genre, guys.
Yeah, Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy is his nickname, but you know what? At this stage, you'll do whatever the guys want you to do. I mean, that's what that time together as a young player, you're just absorbing it and trying to fit in.
Well done. So the Leafs second power play, they scored quickly on their first. Here's Matthews, the goal scorer, another chance, and he fired that high, and it'll ricochet back out to center. Mention the Red Wings. Last on the kill last year was the worst penalty kill since 1982-83, the Los Angeles Kings. Here's Tavares, move for Nylander, around for Nyes, who had trouble knocking that down, and the Red Wings clear.
You saw another example there of the Leafs, the mindset early on to attack. You know, get a shot. They took 6 seconds to score in the first power play. They got another shot and a scoring opportunity off the stick of Matthews in about the first 10-12 seconds of this power play.
Nylander brought them back in. Riley fires across to Tavares. The return feed broke it up, as Kasper got a stick on that. The Leafs have a power play goal in each preseason game. Nylander couldn't slip it through for Tavares. And the Red Wings clear.
Well, here's where you want to get a change, so you get a second unit. Let's have a look at what that second loot unit could potentially look out. You got Maselli an opportunity there, and of course Easton Cowan getting his power play time on that second unit.
Max Domi, Bobby McMahon, Oliver Ekman Larson also out. Fired around to Michelli on the near side. Here's Michelli's pass broken up there by Finney. The youngster getting a turn on the penalty kill as well for Detroit, and the Red Wings clear. Matthias Michelli, late stages of the second power play. Domi at the line, able to knock it through. Sider behind the net, tied up there, slipped it past Cowan, and the Red Wings able to get one more clear.
Yeah, they drew a penalty too, a little bit of a hook there, trying to reach for that puck. It ended up being a holding call. You get chasing at the very end of that power play, and it's Bobby McMahon who just got reaching out to try to get a loose puck. So just 1 second left on the Dylan Larkin, and Larkin will pop out and get right to the power play. You know, you end up chasing there at the last second. Moritz Seider can't make the play, and just that little tug on the right arm didn't go unnoticed, and a power play now 1 for 2 for the Maple Leafs in this game, and the Red Wings will get there first in just 1 second.
Detroit good on the power play last year. They were the 4th best power play and tied with Ottawa for the most power play goals at 64. The Leafs 17th on the kill last year. And had a little problem in the preseason, killing 11 of 17. Dakota Joshua and Nick Waugh start, and Dylan Larkin got a back pedal.
And that's part of it too, isn't it, Chris? You've got 2 guys up front that weren't here last year. So it's all about getting reps and learning, okay, this is the way we want a penalty kill. Get in unison with the defenseman, and that takes a little bit of time.
Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat up front. Here is DeBrincat along the boards. Lawton trying to break that up. Sandin Pellikka and Seider, so they got 2 defensemen back there, but both very adept on the power play. Here's Larkin. Raymond tracked by Lawton. Back to Larkin, and Seider fired it off the stick of DeBrincat wide. Larkin feeds the point again. There's the youngster Sandin Pellikka. Back it goes, and he fired that wide. Raymond for Seider. Back around it goes. Down low, DeBrincat in front, and that got by Dylan Larkin, and the Leafs with a chance to clear, and Lorentz will carry it out.
Well, I thought DeBrincat, if he had that one over again, he had a chance to walk it himself, didn't he? I think he was expecting to get pressured. Instead, the pressure was going towards Larkin. Larkin couldn't pick up that pass through his legs.
13 power play goals last year for DeBrincat. Matthews and Nyes now come out on the late stages of the penalty kill for Toronto. Gustafsson back. Red Wings worked on their power play this morning. Gustafsson, the second unit power play quarterback, top across, and Matthews read that, flips it ahead. Nyes has a clear cut, break, and stopped by Talbot. Nyes gets his own rebound in behind the net, but nobody, the Leafs were changing, and nobody else was in the Detroit zone.
A great stick there by Austin Matthews. You know, it's such a weapon offensively, and in that time it knocked it down defensively, and a quick little pass sends Matthew Nyes in all alone.
The Leafs get a kill, and we're under 3 minutes to go here in the opening period. 9-6 the shots Detroit, and just that Matthews power play goal so far. Here's a turnover, and quickly back in come the Red Wings, and a hot shot taken up high by Stolars off the stick of Renzek Nygaard, icing Toronto.
You know, there's that Matthews Nyes is the 3rd pairing. As you're saying, who's going to penalty kill? Okay, well, they're 3rd up. So typically on the 3rd up, you've got that second power play. Maybe not as good a passer. And there's the anticipation by Matthews that sends in Nyes. And, you know, that's one for Nyes. Almost looked like he overthought it a little bit. He had all kinds of time, just had to control the puck for a split second. Didn't quite pull it quick enough to get Talbot to bite on the initial move.
Off the draw, Detroit controls. Edmondson shot loose in front of the net. A backhand try doesn't get to the net. As Larkin was loose, now Raymond redline it back into the Leaf zone. Andrew Kopp, Larkin spins it back to the line. Johansson returns it to the Red Wing captain, Albert Johansson, onto that left side. Edmondson sharp ankle. Stolars got bumped by Raymond. And Riley going to go after Lucas Raymond. Remember, Stolars was bumped in his first preseason game, and everybody remembers Sam Bennett in Game 1 of the Florida series. So the Leafs are going to try and put a fence up around Anthony Stolars. Another look at Raymond getting a piece of Stolars, and Riley responding. 25 years they couldn't miss, but unbelievably, this is the last time the Red Wings played in a playoff game. 2016. And a 5-game loss to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, look at the faces and the names way back then. You know, the last 9 years, You mentioned 2 years ago just almost making the playoffs, 41 wins and 91 points that year. Chris, during that 9 years, that's the only season that these Red Wings have had a 40-win year and a 90-point season. You know, it's remarkable just how good they were for how long they were at the top of the game. The Hockey Town had a lot of fans on their feet there, but a lot of pressure this year to narrow that gap and finally get back to the postseason.
Rock deflecting that chance wide from in front of the net. Special year for the Red Wings, their centennial year. Still looking for their first playoff game at Little Caesars. Here's Domi with Matthews. Domi holds on, beats Tanev for one touch across for McCabe and back. Chris Tanev will hand it off to Domi. Good movement by the Leafs in the Detroit zone. Now it's Matthews, watched by Seider. Austin Matthews in behind the net. Knocked off balance by Seider. And the puck comes back into the Leaf zone.
Last minute of play in the first period.
The final minute opening period. But Knies gets knocked down by Edmondson at center ice. There's Sandin Pelican, pass picked off by Nylander. And Nylander will flip it down wide of the net. Put it into the corner by Talbot. Edmondson got hit up high by Knies. After he got hit, and there's going to be a penalty to Knies, who got up high on Edmondson, who takes a swipe at him. They've got something going. And a pass back that ends up out at center.
Edmondson coming back from injury. This is his first game of the preseason, and he's kind of ahead of the game too, about a week in advance of when they thought he might come back. So he's got the opportunity to get a couple of games in here before the start of the season.
Clock's going to drain before we get the penalty call. The first period is done. The second period will start with the Detroit power play with Matthew Knies getting a late call.
Well, it's going to be an elbow, I believe, here, and that's a high way to get up. 6'6", just coming across, and there's the pull back there by Edmondson. Just, oh yeah, got him right on the chin there as Matthew Knies coming across takes the penalty.
So Austin Matthews on the power play from Matthew Knies and John Tavares. 1-0 here in Toronto after one period of play in the final home preseason game. Carolyn, Nick, Justin, and Elliott with our first intermission coming up.
We're less than a week away from all the action beginning for real. It's Wednesday night hockey coming up next week. We have a doubleheader for you as the Leafs and the Habs kick things off, and it's the Battle of Alberta. That all begins 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on Sportsnet. Now, for years in Toronto, one of the main talking points around the Leafs was star players and the size of their contract. Now the cap has gone up, money has been flying lately, and some of those deals we've seen this week make some of the Leafs deals look like bargains. John Tavares, for example, in his new deal, he was just one of 12 players last year who had 38 goals or more, and you look at those 12 players and their cap hits this year. John Tavares all the way down at the bottom at 4.389. It's not very often you see a 38 goal scorer take in more than 50% pay cut. Tavares, yes, he's getting a little bit older, but the way he takes care of his body, the Leafs are confident that he will keep going and keep putting up big numbers. Chris and Craig with the call of the second.
6 away from 500 in his terrific career.
Amazing when you look at that cap hit. You know, last year, okay, he was making 11. He would have been fourth on that list. If he could duplicate or even come close to that 38 again, you know, what a value he brings. Not just the goals, but everything else he does well. Already seen it with the face-off win on the power play that ended up in the back of the net.
Red Wing power play to start the second period as Seider winds it up. It glances off Lawton wide of the net. Sandin Pelican back to the line. It's Raymond on the near side. Third in the NHL in power play points last year with 37. It's Seider at the line, and he bobbled it and puts the play offside.
Well, Chris, you mentioned it, the milestones coming up. Every year you look as the season starts, okay, who's close to something special? Well, how about these two great players? One great Canadian in Tavares and one of the best Americans ever. You could see Kane just 2 goals behind Tavares. Amazing though, John Tavares, that .494 in 1,184 games. Patrick Kane, 1,302. That kind of raised my eyes. I would have thought Kane. You look at the game differential, it just shows you how consistent Tavares has been from the goal scoring department.
And a penalty coming up against Toronto. Larkin put it in front, and Carlo with the touch.
Well, exhibition's all about practice, right? So here you got a 5-on-3 that the Leafs are going to have to try to kill, and an opportunity. It's like a high stick on Carlo, a little errant one here. Just trying to lift at the last second. Yeah, even just one hand on his stick, but got Lucas Raymond.
25. 4-minute double
I did get a bleed. I was just going to say, I hadn't seen Raymond if he got cut or not. So not just a 5-on-3, but 56 seconds of 5-on-3 and a 4-minute double minor for Brandon Carlo.
So Raymond getting repairs, 56 seconds, 5-on-3, and the Leafs penalty kill's going to get a workout here.
Well, and how about Nicholas Waugh here? Get the opportunity to show what he can do so well. And Chris, something that the Leafs haven't had, a right-handed centerman here. That becomes critical come penalty killing time as well.
Larkin, though, wins the draw, and it comes back to the line. Seider. Sending Pellica pass across it. A slight bobble by DeBrincat gave Stolarz time to get across. Back to DeBrincat, and a good stick there by Tanev. DeBrincat from the corner. Back to Seider. Seider with a pass, and Stolarz out of the net to make the stop on Larkin.
A pretty good setup here. Pretty tight formation here by the 5-on-3. You've got one-timers. What Dylan Larkin wants is a penalty on Stolarz for getting it in his glove far away. They get the cross seam pass, but Stolarz is there for DeBrincat. This a little bumper pass back and forth. And here, as he loses it, I think the official was saying to Larkin, though he had control of it when he started, which was in the crease, and that's why he's not getting the penalty. If he had just jumped out there and put his glove on it, a penalty could be had.
Half-minute remaining in the power play. Sandin Pellica with a blast, and Stolarz turns that aside. Red Wings have had their looks against the big Leaf netminder. Down low it goes, and back to Sandin Pellica, and he shot that one high. Chance for Ekman Larsson to send it 200 feet. So Nyes getting set to return. There's Lawton trying to disrupt the breakout. And so the Leafs able to kill the 5-on-3. Nyes back on the ice. Here's DeBrincat. Sandin Pellica walking in, and a tip by Raymond, loose in front, and they can't catch it. What a chance that was for DeBrincat at the side of the net. Comes across, and that shot wide of the net. DeBrincat again. Sandin Pellica returns it. Larkin weak and wide, and it bounced on Morgan Rielly. Raymond had it. Rielly gets it back. Knocked down by Raymond. Loose puck there, and Nick Waugh on the boards. Can't get it out. Kept alive, and now the Leafs with a chance to clear, and Rielly make sure.
Well, how about the camp for Axel Sandin Pellica? He's a 20-year-old getting an opportunity. This is his 6th game of these preseasons. Gets the 5-on-3 opportunity, and you can see why. Just great composure and good ability to track the puck and move.
Played in 3 World Juniors, a captain for Sweden in one of them. There's a chance for Kasper, and Stolarz stopped that. Berggren. Back to Eric Gustafsson. 2nd unit on. Matthews trying to deny a shooting lane, and that'll stick to Stolarz with a minute 54 remaining in the Red Wings power play.
Boy, what a great sequence for Stolarz here. You're already a big body at 6'6", but watch this little movement by Stolarz as this shot comes. He pushes himself out about 2.5 feet, and that just makes that big body even bigger. Nothing gets by him. This is a little bobble of the puck on the doorstep. DeBrincat had the wide open net. It just hopped over his stick. Good job of Tanev getting there to get the rebound cleared.
There's a face-off win by Lawton and a clear for the Maple Leafs. Eric Gustafsson through center. Kicks it back, and here's Kasper. Over the line with Pop. Back to Gustafsson. Kasper to Kopp. looking to center with Rasmussen parked in front, and it ends up on the screen.
A little special teams time. Both coaches don't mind it. I mean, again, you're not worried about wins or losses. It's kind of nice to have the situation arrive. Who can you trust and who can you put in situations, see how they react? You mentioned last year for Detroit, it was their penalty kill that was their demise, but power play surprisingly strong at 4th in the National Hockey League. They had scored 4 goals 5-on-3 last year as well.
Sandin Pellikka looked to center it in the slot, knocked down by Matthews, who checks his stick and sends it back into the Detroit zone. Look, and Sandin Pellikka nailed down a Detroit Red Wings defensive job at 20 years of age. Does he get a little more seasoning in Grand Rapids? They're taking a long look, aren't they?
He's played all but one game, and you know what? When he's playing lots. So they're not cutting back his ice time at all.
Over 20 minutes in each game that he's played. The Larkin pass broken up. Raymond along the boards. Nice challenges him. Larkin, Sandin Pellikka into the middle sider and back, and that shot wide of the mark. Just over a half minute remaining. Sandin Pellikka again right on. Stolarz is down. Matthews can't clear. Sider, Raymond, Sider, and a blocker stop by Stolarz. Sandin Pellikka once again. 12 goals in the Swedish League last year. Sider up top. Here's Raymond. And that pass in behind DeBrincat. Challenge there by Matthews. DeBrincat keeps it alive. Larkin from the corner. Sider with a one-touch pass. Penalty done. The Leafs have killed the double-minder to Carlo, and part of that was on a 5-on-3. Larkin, and that's vacuumed up. And Stolarz will hold.
And Chris, a good chunk of that penalty kill, the reason why it was so successful is that man there. That's probably the best sequence. Had a lot of good chances, good puck movement by the Red Wings, but what I like about Stolarz, is calmness in the net, but I mentioned this, the big body. Look at the aggressiveness there, just aggressively comes out to the top, gets sure that the rebound goes past where the threat was, and a really good penalty kill sequence there by the Maple Leaf net line.
The Red Wings 0 for 4 on the power play in this game. The Leafs with the power play goal, that's the difference here in the second period.
Yeah, Mitchie, Stolarz came into this game with just the 40 minutes on last Saturday, allowed 3 goals there. And you know, as a veteran guy, you just, guys talked in studio about the health. Okay, you can't start thinking about the health. A difficult year last year with the knee problem after just a great start, and you just hope that he can just focus on another career games played this year. You know he's going to get the opportunity. He's got the reliability of the, 4-year contract after this. So he's a Maple Leaf for the next 5 years, and he's really set his sights having another career season this year. He's looked good tonight.
Interesting note, when he talked about the contract, he did say one of his priorities is play more games.
Yes. Sean talked about it last Saturday, looking at older goaltenders who had their best years, and Tim Thomas was on the top of that list at 37 years old. Ben Bishop at 32, and he's just 31.
There's a 2-on-1. Finney trying to get it in front to Soderblom, and the pass broken up by Carlo in front, and Soderblom knocked that wide. Now Tavares gets control. Morgan Riley a hit at center. Off the stick of Nylander and bouncing into the Detroit zone.
Sure, the message for Craig Berube here is, okay, you've been killing penalties this whole period. Let's get our 5-on-5 game going, get a little bit of rhythm back offensively into this game. They've been in their own zone, killing things off to this point.
Matthews, Nyes, and Domi check back in. First 5-on-5 shift for that line in this period. Rasmussen working in for Detroit. There's Rasmussen, and they're going to be short-handed again, as Nyes is going to get a penalty. Either a hook or it's going to be a slash against Matthew Nyes.
Well, McCabe tried to make a play in the neutral zone, turned the puck over. Now it's a 3-on-1, just reaching a couple of times, gets that last one into the hands, and off to the box he goes. Oh, coming off a career year with 34 games last year, 21 wins. You know, down the stretch for Anthony Stolarz, he went 8-0 to end. He had 3 shutouts in a 4-game span, had a great playoff, going 4-2 and knocking out the Ottawa Senators, and then injured in that game 1. Well, here, trying to get your rhythm back. And the one thing that's really been evident is just how well he's tracking the puck. And we think any time a goaltender tries to get himself back dialed in, it's can you track where the pass is going? Can you get there before the shot comes? And we just saw a whole bunch of examples of how well he's tracking it in this one tonight.
Fifth power play of the game for Detroit. Larkin gets waved. Larkin looks like he's in regular season form, at least for focus and intensity.
One thing Todd McClellan did do is this team had lost 3 in a row. They played 3 games in 3 nights and were on a little bit of a dry spell. Wasn't happy with his veteran players, and he called them out. Not necessarily Dylan Larkin, but as the captain, you take that responsibility. We mentioned not a whole lot of practice time, but Todd McClellan wasn't really pleased with the effort-wise. I don't think he'll be questioning that tonight. His team's had some pretty darn good jump, and if it weren't for Stolarz, this might be a different outcome.
Raymond in. Seider. Sandin Pellikka. Moritz Seider with the shot. That's blocked by Lawton. Loose puck, Lorentz. Unable to get it out. To the glove pass, holds play.
Yeah, just a good job for Lawton. You know what you have to do. It's the worst job in hockey, especially as a forward. D-men are used to doing this, but how about a kick save and a beauty there as he gets the left foot right on it, Lawton. That you go back to the bench there and you get a lot of good pats from your teammates when you know it's a tough job to do and a penalty kill, and Lawton does a great job of not allowing that one to get through.
Scott Lawton with his highlight game last year against Detroit. He scored 4 goals in a game, including the 100th of his NHL career. Gustafsson across. Andrew Kopp in front, so is Rasmussen, who deflects that high. Kasper retrieves the puck, feeds back to the line. Gustafsson, midpoint, there's a blast, and it's deflected out of play.
Pretty good puck movement on both these power plays for Detroit. They've had the offensive zone time. They've been able to set up one-timers on the side. They just haven't been able to find a way through. And Marco Kasper, off of a great rookie season, 19 goals as a rookie. He gets the one-timer there. Unable to get it past. Another good block by a Leaf defender there to make sure nothing gets to the net.
Boy, how many second-year centers get to center? Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gustafsson. There's Brenzek Kigard. Gustafsson, a pad stopped by Stolarz, and I don't know if he saw it. Big traffic in front of the net. Here's McCabe. Rasmussen tying him up. Battle in the corner, and the puck popped loose, and out comes Lawton. Scott Lawton over the line, late stages of this 5th Detroit power play. And the Leafs 5 for 5 on the kill as Nyes is back on the ice. 1 shot registered by that Detroit power play. It remains a 1-0 Leaf lead. The shot's 20-9 in favor of the Red Wings. Back to the line for Edmundson, left in front. Paddle stop and a beauty. Another chance in front. Stolarz drops his stick but keeps it out. Highlight reel stop. Now it's McMahon. Tavares in front, and it's knocked away from Tavares, who is loose in front of Cam Talbot. Back the other way, Berggren following up. It's Finney. Emmett Finney checked by the veteran John Tavares.
Boy, how did that one stay out? That last shot, I think, hit the post on the other side, but just a great reaction to Stolarz in desperation getting the stick out. Shots are 21-9 now in favor of the visitors.
That's a brilliant saves. Larkin got taken down. A big pass and a good one to Cowan. Cowan looks across. Domi in front of the net. And another pass intended for Michelli, who's not had a chance to play much in this period because of all the Leaf penalties. Back ahead, Michelli. Leafs try and pick up the pace here. It's Domi, Michelli, and Cowan. If nothing else, fresh legs for the Leafs on this line. Michelli's got the puck. Heads to the center, put it in front, and Cowan got a stick on that. Here's Easton Cowan, checked by Kopp. And Detroit will send it to the line, brought back in. That's an offside as Michelli gloved it in. And how about Anthony Stolarz? 22 stops, and this the most spectacular as he keeps Detroit at bay. Well, the Leafs have had great goaltending, great penalty killing, and you like the intensity, and you were watching for that coming out of Muskoka.
Yeah, I thought this was a really important game to send a message as a player to your head coach. You know, Craig Berube talked about getting to know his players a little bit more. You know, second training camp for some, first for the newcomers that have come in, and he really felt it's important to get to know what they're like, to get to know them off the ice. I had one of the best in Glenn Sather, and you think of what an intimidating guy Glenn Sather was. But in the wintertime, guys would be going snowmobiling at Glenn's house. Like, he really made an effort to get to know you, get to know the families. Every good team that has great success has a good relationship between the head coach and the players, the general manager and the players. And I found it interesting that Craig Berube talked an awful lot about that, and trying to develop that with this group.
Speaking of that Oiler team, happy birthday to your old line mate and a former Maple Leaf. Can Glenn Anderson really be 65?
Can he still cut to the net like he used to? Man, what a player he was to play with. And yeah, we're all getting a little bit older, aren't we?
Here's Tavares at center. Puck flipped down. Up ahead it goes to DeBrincat. Over the line looking for Casper. Stolarz will send it around. Nyes looks for the puck and rolls it deep. After it with Matthews. They get it to Domi. 8.5 to go here in the second period. Mason Appleton across. Johansson after it. Matthews tried to tie him up. It's played to center. Riley got a stick on that. Matthews knocked down. Puck back inside the line. Ben Sherratt. Here's Soderblom. Big Elmer Soderblom, 6'8". After it, Nick Waugh and Appleton, and it's Brandon Carlo away. Michelli to the near side. Waugh will dump it in. Here's Nick Waugh in front, Michelli, and a glove stop. Talbot's best of the second period.
Well, there's another shift that Craig Berube will like to see. I mean, what's Berube hockey? North-south, get the puck in, get in on the forecheck. A simple little play, a dump in, absorb the hit. Dakota Joshua gets in, gets a hit, creates a turnover. One pass later, you get a good scoring chance. And as I said, it's going to be interesting to watch this trio if they end up staying together. Michelli with a great chance in tight, didn't quite get it high enough. But playing off the big size and bodies of Waugh and Dakota Joshua to create that chance.
Out comes Jonathan Berggren. Finney goes after it. Finney played his junior hockey with Logan Stankoven and Fraser Minton. DeBrincat from distance with Berggren in front of the net. So different combination here for Detroit as well.
I think all the special teams, it's like both coaches going, who hasn't played in a while? I got to put some lineups together to get guys back on the ice. It's very difficult when they sit for so long.
Brinkett steals. Seider lost control of it, kept in by Sherratt. And now Finney gets it around behind the net to Berggren. Knocked off his stick, and Benoit with an outlet. John Tavares rink wide. Michelli fielding that and playing it in. Leafs changing as Lawton comes out with Lorentz and Cowan. Back in comes Detroit, and the Larkin shot hit a leg. Chris Tanev looks up ice, trying to spring Cowan. That was knocked down by Gustafsson. And sent back into the Leaf zone by Larkin.
That's one play for Cowan. He tried to blow the zone to get the D-man to back off, but he didn't have his eye on the puck, so that puck comes right by him and ends up going back the other way. Just those little reads that you have to get accustomed to.
Lorentz with a steal in front, and Cowan unable to convert that. Tanev back ahead for Lorentz. He'll roll it in. Cowan going after it. Up to is Tavares. Press legs off the bench. Raymond moves the puck ahead. Soderblom knocked off his stick. Cowan out at the end of a shift. Gives it to Carlo. Back for Tavares. Cowan still out there. After it against Travis Hamonic. Carlo sends that wide of the net. Riley on the far side in front. Now Cowan gets to the bench to finish the chain as Nylander comes on. Rasmussen around far side. Tavares and Nylander trying to get going. Here's Nylander on the move. William Nylander cuts to the middle. Awful leg, it goes to the corner. McMahon battling there for it against Sandin Pellikka. Now up ahead and fired in by Mason Appleton, the former Winnipeg Jet. Ekman Larsson. Max Domi. Benoit took that off his skate. Now DeBrincat the other way. Here's Alex DeBrincat along with Brenzak Nygaard. Got to the front of the net and covered by Stolarz. Under 5 to go here in the second period at Toronto. Still just the Matthews goal.
As the Red Wings look to snap the second longest playoff drought in the league, there are some big question marks surrounding the team. Maybe the biggest, though, in net. It's been a revolving door of stars over the last 4 or 5 seasons. John Gibson, the newest addition, looking to help the Red Wings get over the hump. Could be a full season under Todd McLellan and a new starter. That is hopeful for Wings fans that they can avoid that playoff drought reaching double-digit years, guys.
Well, they're veterans in that goal with Cam Talbot at 38 years of age. John Gibson in his 30s, likely to be the starter on Saturday. And feels like the expectation is he'll be the starter opening night for Detroit.
You would think so. A pretty big move, and Gibson an opportunity to reinvigorate himself. You know, all those years in Anaheim where there's some question, okay, is Gibson going to be the trade bait? Is he going to go? Well, you go through some tough years as a goaltender. It's very difficult to handle, and you know he hasn't had his best years in the net because the team hasn't been very good, but he's got a great partner and a veteran in Cam Talbot, and continues to play some pretty solid hockey as a 32-year-old. So it'll be interesting to watch how they're utilized as the season goes along.
Shelley swinging it across. McCabe tried to put it on goal. It was broken up by Giroux. Now the Red Wings will try and work it ahead. Just the final thought on Gibson, I was surprised to see has not won 20 since the 1920 season. Of course, injuries and the Ducks building played a big role in that.
If you're a player, a goaltender playing, what, 45, 50 games on a team that's not all that good, your numbers are going to show it. Last year, a lesser 29 games, but just 11 wins. You know, 2 of the last 3 years, though, Chris, he's had his highest goals against average of his career and his worst save percentage 3 years ago. So he's got a lot to prove, too, and he hopes that a new lease on life on a new team, and hopefully a better one in front of him, maybe a little bit more predictable, and he can get his game back to where it was and where it needs to be.
Edvinsson sending it in. It's almost got caught with too many men there. Morgan Riley had to double back quickly for a moment. A little stutter step before he made sure all was clear. Riley's got it now. Brandon Carlo to the Red Wing line. Defended there by Hamonic to Gustafson. Soderblom in the middle. And on to the right wing it goes. It'll be played back for Hamonic. Double clutch that. Blocked by Riley, and it caught him at an unprotected spot.
Appleton on the skate, didn't he? Put the boot right in front of that one to block.
Centering pass. Rasmussen is stopped point blank by Stolars, who's put on a show here tonight.
Again, the exhibition game, you know you have to block shots. Sometimes you can't just get out of the way. And that one, oh yeah, he kicked it right out, got it on the instep, and that one could smart. Another in-tight play, but good. No panic there by Stolars. Closed the 5-hole right away. As soon as that puck went on Rasmussen's stick, he was conscious about closing that hole and then able to pounce on the rebound before anyone could get it.
Marco Casper on that draw. Lawton won, and Casper was 6-1 in the opening period for the Red Wings. Just over 44% last year, so good start in that department for him. Sandin Pellikka, and that changed direction, and Stolar is able to keep that out as Cowan moves through center. Flips it past Sherratt. After it against Sandin Pellikka. A centering pass in front, and Lorentz unable to take that 2-on-1 the other way. It is DeBrincat. Sandin Pellikka back in front, and it bounced on DeBrincat, who couldn't make the play, and Red Wing bench looking for a penalty, none forthcoming.
Oh, good job though of Lawton coming back. He just allowed his D-man to take the 2-on-1 and made sure he closed that off.
There's a turnover inside the line by Cowan, and a shot prepared for rebound. And Stolars has got that too, as he robs Casper. Lawton a chop at it. Cowan at center. Feeds it ahead. Lorentz into the shift, and he'll dump it in to get the change with 90 seconds remaining. Here in this second period, the shot's 27-12 in favor of Detroit. There's Finney after it, tried to center it. Mentioned Finney, a 7th rounder. That one knocked down in front, and Michelli comes up with it. 7th round pick in 2023. Finney at the side of the net stumbles. Centered back in front, and that's taken away by Michelli. Off the boards, trying to get it to Dakota Joshua. And Siders there in the final minute. Johansson off Berggren deep. Stolars for Michelli. Gets by Waugh to center. Fired back in by Hamonic. Brandon Carlo. Mason Appleton's got it for Detroit. At the line, Hamonic. Rasmussen. Watch there by Waugh. Appleton. Edvinsson wide of the net. Dakota Joshua after it. And Joshua wins that race for the puck, but hands it back in front, and that's sent wide. A chance for Soderblom. And the rebound ricocheted out to center. Final 10 seconds. Larkin dispatches it back in the lead zone. It got past Soderblom, kept alive. Now Riley back to the line. Period done. We're through 28 stops for Anthony Stolars through 40 minutes. And the Leafs penalty kill, a perfect 5 for 5. As the power play goal by Austin Matthews early in the night stands up through 40 minutes. Carolyn along with Justin Bourne, Nick Kypreos, Elliot Friedman, and our second intermission coming up.
The best shows from the biggest networks. Stream it all on City TV Plus. Start your free trial at citytvplus.ca. Easton Cowan may just be 20 years old, but he's earned the trust of head coach Greg Berube, and apparently, at least as of now, has earned a spot on the Maple Leafs fourth line. Anyone that talks about Cowan, his former coaches and GM, calls him a student of the game, and you see it here tonight. He is learning at every single opportunity he gets from his line mates, from guys like William Nylander, even guys behind the bench like Mark Savard. Cowan was asked earlier in training camp about potentially playing a depth role starting on the fourth line. He said that is no issue for him. It's what he did with the London Knights. He started on the fourth line. He worked his way up to putting up massive numbers, having a ton of playoff and championship success. He'll be looking to do the same with the Maple Leafs starting soon, guys.
Guess you could say he's hit almost all the right notes in this training camp.
Yeah, the one thing about trying to make an NHL lineup is there isn't much patience along the journey. And that's the frustrating part. As a young guy trying to establish yourself, you almost feel just the burden each and every shift to try to do something, to try to show, to stand out. And sometimes that can work against you. I think he's learned a lot, though, of just having some consistency and predictability in his game.
It is Stolarz to start the third period for Toronto. 28 stops, 10 with Detroit on the power play so far tonight. And the Leafs outshot 19-4 in that second period. Here's Edvinsson putting it in front, and that deflects up onto the netting. Leafs were shorthanded, though. 7:04 the first 8.5 minutes in the second.
Yeah, really disrupted the flow of the second period and really forced Stolarz to be front and center. I didn't mind Elliott's thought at all. You know, I look at saying it's all about how your goaltender feels. Put him in a good position to get ready to start the season. And those were two solid periods by Stolarz. Clearly, he's got his rhythm after an okay game last Saturday, but not nearly as good as this one so far.
Kept in and swung on goal by Seider. Here's Riley, and it bounces to Tavares. John Tavares up ahead. Nylander trying to get loose, but knocked away from him. And now rolled down into the Detroit zone. Nylander on the forecheck against Seider. Tavares arrived near the puck, but Casper able to play it away, and DeBrincat goes redlining in. Brandon Carlo fumbled it. It's a chance there, and a stop on the backhand as Casper is thwarted once again by Stolarz. Leafs make a change as Hamonic sends it in. That jumps the stick of Stolarz. Soderblom watched by Joshua, trying to work his way to the front of the net. Rasmussen in behind. That's a big line for Detroit. And now Appleton gets it back to the line across for Hamonic. He's shot, deflected right on. A tip by Rasmussen, and Michelli dumps it out to center. Now the Red Wings change. Nicholas Waz had knocked off his stick by Soderblom. Heading to the bench. Benoit up ahead, and we've got a penalty coming up against Detroit. The Leafs will get a power play early here in the third.
Too many men on the ice is the indication here. I think just a little bit of a sloppy change, and you can see the look on Todd McLellan's face. Coaches can't stand that.
Penalty. Too many men on the ice.
Just a nothing play in the neutral zone, and guys just not getting on and off as quickly as possible. So after, as you mentioned, the second period where it was the Leafs, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just wow. Yep. 6 guys with one still on the ice there, not even off. So pretty easy pickup by the officials. And an early power play here in the third for the Maple Leafs.
Leafs 1 for 2. They scored 6 seconds into their opening power play. Tavares wins the draw. Matthews, and he wires that high. Off the initial setup, Nylander's pass off Andrew Kopp out with Mason Appleton.
There's another shot in the first 5 seconds. So that's all 3 within the first 10 seconds. Getting a shot on goal.
Back in, Matthews denies, but the drop pass picked off, and Kopp will send it down the ice. I think Mason Appleton should help improve the Detroit penalty kill this year. Nylander warding off the checking of Lucas Raymond. Matthews goes to work. Over the line for Tavares. Larkin out to the penalty killing role now. There's Nylander, 45 goals last year. Riley back to 88, and that went off the glove of Talbot wide. Raymond at the red line, and he'll drop it down into the Leaf zone. Larkin hounding Riley. And Nylander will set things up. 50 seconds to go as the Leafs change their power play alignment. Ekman Larsson's come on. Domi, McMahon, Cowan. Ekman Larsson fires it around. Domi looking for the retrieval. Rasmussen comes up with it momentarily, but now Cowan takes over. There's Easton Cowan for Max Domi, a couple of former London Knights on the second power play unit. Michelli up top. Trade spots with Ekman Larson. Gets past Cowan, who toe picks along the boards. Michelli back across, and that pass off the skate to McMahon back into the Leaf zone. Stolarz feeds it ahead. Last rush on the power play. Cowan's got it into the middle. Domi fires it to blocked. Now McCabe can't get it to the net. Berggren was serving the penalty, and now he goes to the attack. Drops it off for Kasper. Shooting and off the shoulder of Stolarz and out.
Boy, another one. Stolarz just making himself as tall as he could at that last second. You know, you're coming from a bad angle, and so often the guys will try to go right along the ear and watch the head. Good drop pass here. Tough angle, so go just up and over. Just caught the top of the shoulder there. Stolarz 6'6", able to hold on. Chris, there's Marco Kasper again. Another dangerous play as he went in. Did a nice little give and go there with Berggren.
21 years of age from Innsbruck, Austria. And steered off the stick of Stolarz, out for another face-off in the Leaf zone.
Well, you saw the penalty kill there for the Detroit Red Wings. You mentioned it earlier, just since 83, 84. I mean, you cannot expect to be a playoff team when you get that kind of number. And that's just something that has to improve. You know, amazingly, though, they only had 184 power play attempts against. The Leafs, just for instance, were 235. And, you know, so they didn't take a whole lot of penalties. But, man, that can work against you if you can't kill them off. Your percentage was just horrible because of it.
Joshua ducks a check, got past Edmondson, deep into the corner, back to McCabe, and that ramps off the stick of Talbot, and out.
It'll be really interesting to watch Dakota Joshua here. You know, you saw in the intermission, Scott Laughton said about getting comfortable, having the time this year after playing just 20 games last year, never really got his game back. Well, for Joshua, at least you have the opportunity to not start mid-season. Had a difficult year last year with the cancer diagnosis, but this is a guy that's got a huge upside. And can he be a 20-goal scorer for you? Maybe push it even to a 25. And I think it'll be interesting to watch as he gets comfortable here as a Maple Leaf.
Off the end boards, Tavares tried to center. Joshua didn't play until mid-November last year. His first goal was December the 10th. So a full training camp will obviously help him. Raymond. Off Finney. Back at the line. Sherrod. Rebound scored. Dylan Larkin as Stolarz gives up a rebound, and Detroit has tied it.
Well, this is all Larkin too. The reason he gives up a rebound, Chris, is because Larkin got a piece of it on the way in. And that's a classic. If you're playing that role in front of the goaltender, not only if you can, you're trying to get in the goaltender's eyes. Well, he gets boxed out by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but watch at the end. Gets his stick in there, gets a piece of that shot so that Stolarz can't control it. All Sherrod's trying to do is get it in there. Because of the deflection, the rebound's there. Now he's got his stick free. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's above his stick as opposed to below it. Can't get there quick enough, and that's a goal scorer's goal. Tip on the way in, pounce on the rebound, and just like that, you got yourself a tie game.
30 last year for Dylan Larkin. Fourth consecutive time he's hit that mark. And good on the road last year. 19 of his goals came away from the Motor City. So the game tied. Larkin from Sherrod. And Emmett Finney gets an assist on the game-tying goal.
Well, there's again the power play opportunity that presents themselves is so important, and that's a position that Larkin can play on that one as well. That was a good play by Sherrod. There's nobody there. He knows he's got a one-on-one in front and just throws it there, and Larkin picked it up.
Saw the 20-year-old from Lethbridge, Emmett Finney, 7th round 2023. No player from that draft beyond the 4th round has played a game in the NHL, but Finney contending for a spot with the Red Wings. Sherrod sends it, or excuse me, Seider sends it in, but up onto the netting.
Well, you look at how do you become a playoff team? Well, you need some push. You think of those great Detroit Red Wing teams of the past. Their American Hockey League team was the feeder ground of all the good players to come. They were overcooked, so to speak, in the American League. That was Kenny Holland's way, and you know that Steve Yzerman watched that and was a part of that even as a player, trying to establish that. You have to try to be patient. It's difficult, though, Chris, to be patient when you've missed it 9 years in a row. And I think this year, more than anything, pressure's on. Another penalty coming up here. Nick Waugh gets the stick in for the hook as he's trying to fight Raymond for that loose puck. So a power play coming up for the Red Wings.
Toronto, number 55, 2-minute minor penalty, hooking.
6th power play of the night for Detroit. Shortly after the tying goal by Larkin.
Oh, what were the guys talking about? Here you go again, where you give another opportunity, just an errant stick, not much of it into the hands, but anytime you get that stick parallel across the body. And here, 34 shots already. The shots are 34-13 for Detroit. And here, Anthony Stolarz again going to be tested for another odd man play against him.
19 shots in the second period. More than any one period the Leafs allowed shots last year. Again, a lot of shorthanded time for Toronto, and now looking for a 6th consecutive penalty kill. Bouncing puck, Tanev chopped it away. Sandin Pellikka far side, challenged by Lorentz. Comes back to the line, and Lucas Raymond downhill. Sider across. Sandin Pellikka right on. Looking for his own rebound. An outlet here. Lorentz unable to come up with it. Back to the line, Sider. The 20-year-old, watched by Lorentz, who does the job and gets it down the ice.
Yeah, good read by Lorentz there. You know, just a little overhanded handling there by the youngster. And when you see the numbers at your back, pressure as quickly as you can, turn the puck over and get a chance.
Casper on the move, but turned back by Benoit, who gets it outside the line, and Gustafsson will regroup. 50 seconds remaining in the Red Wing power play. Here's Berggren, top. Wraps it around. McMahon read the play and gets a stick on it, and up ahead for Joshua. So McMahon took the spot of Nick Waugh on that penalty kill tandem.
That's an interesting wrinkle, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see if just a little bit of a test there to see how McMahon handles that responsibility.
Here's Gustafsson. Casper along the boards into the corner. Goes to the far side. Board battle there with Berggren in the middle of it. He comes back to Casper. Knies closing down on him. Gustafsson at the line. Berggren shooting, and Stolarz threw a screen. Actually looked at the official, then made another save. I wonder if he thought he got bumped again there, and might have been looking for a call. Tanev outlet, and McKeeb up ahead. And the Leafs now 6 for 6 in penalty killing in this game. Carlo off the stick to Tavares. Back comes Appleton. Into the middle it goes, and Finney gets checked as he was on the move. Finney again in front, and that fired wide. Edmondson looked skyward after missing what looked like an open cage.
What a play by Finney there. You mentioned his ability offensively. That was a nifty little backhand pass right across the seam. Looked like a for sure thing.
Now Nylander back. William Nylander sends it in. Tavares after to gate Sherratt. Machelli out there. And here comes Albert Johansson. It'll be sent in by Brenzek Nygaard. Nice. Had to whip that pass across. And can I say MBN? It's a little easier than
it is. Yeah. It's a mouthful, isn't it?
But Michael Brenzek Nygaard, the rookie out of Norway. Here's a chance for Knies, and he pumps that wide. Matthew Knies back at center. Jake McKay, Tanev, and Knies. 29 goals last year, 14 for Knies. Game against the Atlantic Division. Leafs will play 5 of their first 9 against divisional opponents. The Red Wings start with 5 straight against the Atlantic. Here's Finney dashing in again. And stopped by Stolars. Back the other way. It's a break for Cowan. Here's Easton Cowan trying to cut in. Fired that right off. Good burst by Cowan, but back the other way comes Raymond. Lucas Raymond in the middle. Rasmussen stopped by Stolars. And away goes Lorentz as it opens up. 10 minutes gone, third period. Steven Lorentz is in. Puts on the brakes, got tied up by Sider, but a stick on the puck to help hold it in. Sandin Pellikka, ASP, puts it out at the benches. So a burst by young Easton Cowan here. 53 trying to get by. 53 testing Cam Talbot.
9:48 to go here in the third. Here's how we got to the 1-1 tie. 6 seconds into the game's first power play. It's the captain, Austin Matthews. Little disher by Matthew Nyes, and it's a 1-0 lead that held tight until this third period. A little box out by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but it's Larkin that gets the deflection, pounces on the rebound, and despite the shot differential, 39-15 in favor of the road Red Wings. It's a tight 1-1 game.
Bobby McMahon, Jake McCabe, the only players with more than one shot for the Leafs, both with 2. Nylander from behind the net. Hands it off to Tavares. Knocked off his stick. McMahon trying to step in there, but the Red Wings able to work it ahead. Appleton over the line on the right wing. Drops it back. And Sandin Pellikka's shot deflecting wide. Tavares tied up. Helped out by Ekman-Larsson. And now Benoit. Nylander, Benoit. Watching on that shift was on the left side. Here comes Ekman-Larsson in. Sharp angle backhand. And Talbot's going to freeze that.
Yeah, it has been a number of times Ekman-Larsson has been on the right, and lots of discussion on that. They don't have the right-left on every pairing, and veteran of Ekman-Larsson, you know, at times, obviously he can play either side, but it's just the instincts that you have playing your normal side. Here on your off wing offensively, it's not too bad. He does a nice job of taking it, but defensively, it'll be intriguing. I just think the fact that Benoit's missed so much of camp, it's his first game back, let him settle in and play on the left side and just have something normal to try to get your feet wet and get your rhythm back into your game.
Domi wins the draw. Matthews the shot, and off the stick, a change-up that just rolled wide. Johansson sends it down into the Leaf zone. Under 9 to go here in the third period. Leafs 2-1-1 coming into this game in the preseason. Matthews almost sprung, but broken up by Kopp.
Good read by Kopp there. Eh? That was a breakaway. Had he not read that one, got his stick in the way.
Off at center, unable to control the puck, and it's Jake McCabe. Knocked off the stick of Matthews by Johansson. In comes Berggren, trying to lean in there against McCabe, and can't get by him. Gustafsson from the line, drifts that wide. Down goes Tanev, a little slow to get up, but a big stop there off Frantic Nygaard. He's got it again, sending it in front. Loose puck, comes back to him again, and that shot blocked by Nyes. Down in front.
Yeah, a little tap there by Anthony Stolars for Nyes too, as he didn't allow that one to get through.
The Brinkets pass off a skate, and turning it is Joshua. Unable to dump it past Hamonic to charge into the zone, and back is Casper. Pacelli in his own zone. Lost it in front, and a sprawling defensive play there. One-handed away, scores! DeBrincat. And Stolars tried to clear it and couldn't get much on it.
Yeah, Stolars frustrated with himself there. He chose with one hand to just try to clear it with his stick as opposed to just jumping on it as everybody was sort of yard sailed in front of him. A turnover right in front, diving body. See, instead of going after it, he just poked it off the skate, and there's a goal scorer's goal. DeBrincat there gets a piece of it as he's falling down. Nygaard, what a play there, and his backhand. DeBrincat just away from all the traffic, coming back out. You could see Carlo didn't see him until the last second. It actually goes off of Carlo's skate and just trickles over the goal line for the 2-1 lead.
Well, the usual suspects scoring for Detroit. First Larkin, and now DeBrincat, a 39-goal scorer last year. And the Red Wings have their first lead of the game, 12:28 into this third period. DeBrincat, third highest scorer out of the 2016 draft. You know who's number one? Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk. So DeBrincat's in good company. Razik Nygaard gets the lone assist on the go-ahead goal, and here's Lawton. And to wait with Lorentz.
What a great play he made there too. He was falling down and just got the backhander inside. This is his 6th game of the exhibition. That's his 5th one. He's been productive. He's been confident. And again, another young player making his presence felt for Steve Yzerman.
Sticks got high at the benches on the line change. Lorentz was in the middle of it, and a couple of Red Wings wanted to get back at him. That fired around off Tavares. Nylander unable to hold it in. Now Nylander brings it back in with McMahon. Ben Sherratt. Tavares knocks that down along the boards. McMahon holds it in. John Tavares along the line. Trying to hook it through for Nylander. McKee moves up. And the Red Wings are out. Up ahead it goes Rasmussen, and offside called.
Well, you think of Alex DeBrincat. He had 2 41-goal campaigns in his career, and there's one on the doorstep. Wide open net for the tap-in.
Well, the Leafs being outshot here, 41-16. When outshot last year, they led the NHL with 33 wins.
Yeah, you got to go back numerous years, 6 years ago, and anyone to even be close. So it's kind of been commonplace and not something that you want to put your goaltender through each and every game, but it does show, especially last year, this is a team that, the goaltenders did their job. You saw Stolarz with a .926 save percentage on the year, and part of that too, often if you're getting outshot, you've been able to answer the bell.
Only 3 times last year did the Leafs surrender over 40 shots in a game. The high was a 48-shot performance by Edmonton.
Well, again, evaluating the coaches behind both these benches, and Todd McLellan's got to be pretty happy with this club coming in with all the games that they've played. As 7 games in 10 days here. They've hung into this game and had a good third period to take the lead. Now you got to answer here if you're the Leafs.
Leafs had 20 comeback wins last year, looking for a preseason comeback win. That's offside Berggren.
Everybody looks at the preseason in a different way. As a coach, you're trying to put together lines, find some chemistry. Can your young guys play at a real level? And quite frankly, Chris, you don't really get a sense of it in these kind of games because they typically don't have the regular season intensity. And so it's hard to evaluate in these. This has been a better game than some that we've watched throughout this exhibition season, but it really is hard to judge how guys are going to handle when it's real. And that's sort of the decisions that the general managers and coaches have to make together, is projecting and saying, what did you see that you liked? And what do you know about the kid's personality? Can he handle it? Is he a hard worker? Does he consistently show up? And it isn't always the points or goals or assists. There's more to it than that.
Sent deep. Matthews behind the net. Sets it up. Domi trying to get available. It'll come back to Ekman-Larsson across for Benoit. That off Casper into the corner. Benoit steps up on Casper and knocks him down. Domi backs him up. Hamonic around the boards. Ekman-Larsson's there. That went off a stick and right to Talbot, who will cover with 5:07 remaining.
Well, there's one where Ekman-Larsson on the left side and Benoit on the right side. And gave an opportunity for Benoit to get the one-timer, but he fanned on it. Again, this is just his third period of hockey throughout this training camp and this exhibition season. I think ultimately that's what you'll see, Chris, is Ekman Larsson on the left, Benoit on the right, and see if he can handle it in the early going.
Machelli out with Nylander and Tavares, so a different look here as Tavares tries to shake a check. Gets it back from McCabe. Rasmussen follows him out. Tanev threads it back in. Machelli after it. Nylander pouncing on it. Tavares shooting it. And a right kick save by Talbot. Now off Tavares at center.
So Berube trying to get this line going a little bit. It's been a pretty quiet night for William Nylander, who so many times last year when he had the puck had control of the game. It takes McMahon off that line and gets Machelli maybe to make a play, be a little bit more creative.
Edvinsson fanned on that. Waugh ahead and not too far for Nylander, who's heading off anyway. Brandon Carlo. Larkin on the forecheck. Moves it ahead to Joshua. Cowan steps up on this line now. We'll check to see if Bobby McMahon's okay or whether they're just shuffling their wingers at this point. And a big hit at the end of that. A Richter scale collision. All gets underway on Wednesday night. Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey season opener. Montreal in Toronto, Calgary and Edmonton. It all begins 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, right here on Sportsnet. Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to get the regular season started. It's been a long training camp and exhibition season, and you know the players just looking forward to dropping the puck for real.
Under 4 minutes left, regulation time here tonight. And the Red Wings, who trailed by one, now lead by one. On goals by Larkin and DeBrincat in the third. Max Domi to work along with Nyes, and here's Austin Matthews over the line. The Leaf goal scorer. Tried to go short side there on Talbot. Domi's got the puck. Max Domi to Riley. In for Nyes, had his stick lifted, couldn't get control of it. And Sherratt up ahead at center, and that bounces all the way down into the Leaf zone. Stolarz around for Riley, sweeps it ahead for Nyes. Red Wings had changed, and now Dakota Joshua out with Lawton at the line. That hit Joshua. He's surrounded by Red Wings, and it comes out to center. So Joshua, Lawton, and Lorentz. There's Lorentz. Got Lawton on it. Feeds the point for McCabe. Back in deep, Joshua. Lorentz comes up with it. Cycles it back. Lawton caught up there with the net, and Edmondson centers it through the goal crease. And it's flipped away by Brenzek Nygaard. Now McCabe just plays it inside the line. Now we got Nyes, Nylander, and Tavares.
Yeah, lots of different looks. He looks, not sure if he's injured.
Lucas Raymond across. Larkin, huge stop. Stolarz to keep the Leafs a shot away. One of his best saves of the night. And now taken away by Nylander. Here's Nylander with Matthews and Stolarz heading to the bench for an extra attacker. Out comes Domi as the sixth man. Max Domi along the boards, trying to work it loose. Siders clearing a tip, knocked down by Matthews. It'll come to Riley. Morgan Riley fanned on it. Got it back and unable to get that to Nylander, and now off Tavares. It's an empty net here as Matthews with one stop, but the second chance goes in. And the Red Wings on a goal by the kid, Emmett Finney, have a 3-1 lead.
That's a 2-point third period for Finney there. Just again, another opportunity to make his mark. Coach can't be happy here. What a save, though, on a turnover by McCabe. Watch Stolar just push across at the last second. He's got the glove above the pad just in case it is a high shot, and it was exactly that. Larkin put it above the pad, but it's the glove that makes the save. Good effort by Matthews to block the first one. Can't get a piece of the second one. And as I mentioned, Finney's opportunity with this team continues. You know, you go from 10 games in the AHL last year, had a goal and 5 assists on the heels of a career high in the Western Hockey League. 37 goals, 84. Another guy that's getting a good look here in this myriad of exhibition games that the Red Wings have been playing.
Just about every preseason game he's played, Todd McClelland has talked about him in the postgame. Leafs are going to go 6-on-5 again as Stolarz leads the net. Toronto scored 6-on-5. Here's a chance for Cowan in front, and knocked wide there by Nick Waugh. McMahon on it. Cowan tries to feed the point, but it slides back down into the Leaf zone. Scored 6-on-5 against Montreal in the last game. That was about the only thing Craig Berube liked about that game. Final minute here. Easton Cowan up ahead. It's Maccelli on the move. Drops for Cowan. Working his way in. McMahon trying to get loose in front. The Maccelli pass doesn't get there. And Sherratt will fire it off the boards, and it's steered back out. Riley sends it in. Maccelli on the puck. That got past Waugh. And Detroit will clear again. Clock draining as Tanev to break it back after the puck. Leafs scored first tonight, but the Red Wings get 3 straight in the third and win this one 3-1.
Yeah, the Leafs go to 2-2-1 in this preseason, and the 2 wins have been with a lineup that's been the lesser on paper, but each time it's been successful. Good road win, though, for the Detroit Red Wings. Hung in there when they were down 1-0 and had a third period to take the game over.
So one more preseason game. It will involve these 2 teams in Detroit on Saturday night, and then we get set.
So it's a final. Red Wings 3, Leafs 1. Other action to get to, the Sunshine State Showdown, Panthers and Lightning. Preseason action featuring the 2-time defenseman